Friend 2, The Great Legacy. So I haven't watched the first one. I was aware of the second one because of Kim Woo-bin, and I never had any desire to watch it really, but since I'm having like a movie marathon these couple of days, I decided why not? I'm gonna watch everything I can. And but I was not gonna watch the first one just so I can get the story. There's Wikipedia for that. So I went and I did my research. And, before going into it, I was just hoping that there would be a plot. That's, like, all I was asking for. I didn't want another gangster movie with no fucking plot, or a plot that's completely illogical and you're unable to follow it. So I did my research on the first one. It's basically about four friends. They grew up as kids, these four guys. And the way their lives sort of unravel. Two of them become gangsters, two of them go to school, blah blah blah. There's, gang wars, blah blah blah. Main guy is accused of killing his best friend, or, ordering the hit on his best friend who's another gangster. So main guy says, yes, I did it, and is sentenced to jail. And that's how the first movie ends. Spoiler. But main guy did not do it. He's just taking responsibility for something that he didn't do because he feels embarrassed that his friend got killed and he couldn't protect him. Which is like movie logic, where I'm gonna blame myself for everything even though it's not my fault, that I hate. Whatever. And actually, the first movie apparently was like a big deal in 2001. It was the highest grossing box office movie of all time in Korea. And later it was surpassed in 2003 by, I don't remember the name. I've heard about the movie, but just because the actor was recently on Running Man. Simulo, I think, something like that. It's about soldiers, I think. It surpassed that in 2003. But this movie was like a big deal. It really like changed the game, I guess. Also, it changed the two main guys' like lives. One of them was known as like a romantic comedy actor, and suddenly he's like a badass. And the other one wasn't that known yet. And this movie like put him on everyone's radar. So, I did my research before going in. So now I know the story. And basically, Friend 2 picks up 17 years later. Now, one thing I didn't get is main guy was sentenced to death in the first movie at the end. Second movie, he's just out. Like, he just gets out after 17 years. So I have no idea if, like, his sentence changed, if he's got connections. I have no idea, but whatever. He gets out. And basically the story is, after 17 years, he comes back, and things have changed. The way business is done has changed, and he is trying to get his business back, and he's trying to get his boys back. But he can't do it on his own, and he meets Kim Woo-bin in jail. And Kim Woo-bin is actually the son of the guy that was killed in the first movie. Dun dun dun. So Kim Woo-bin's mom was high school friends with main gangster. So she's like, hey, can you take care of my son in prison? Like, make sure they don't fucking kill him, because he likes to get into trouble. That boy fought a lot. So he's like, okay, yeah, he's your son, I'll take care of him. So they become BFFs, and Kim Woo-bin gets out a year later, and he starts working for main gangster. And basically the story picks up from there, and it made sense. Oh my god, I was actually following the plot. Okay, we're gonna get these guys, and we're gonna create a new gang, and we're gonna take over Busan. It takes place in Busan, again. So 2 hours of Kim Woo-bin speaking the Busan accent with smoking in a suit, and then under the rain. He looked lovely, but beyond that, it was 2 hours. I feel like these movies are always a bit longer than they should be, than they need to be, really, but I enjoyed it. I was actually able to follow it, which is important to me. And, the ending was quite, better than I expected it to be. I expected it to just be some bullshit ending, honestly. I was impressed with it. I was impressed with the way everything was resolved, and I was impressed with where everyone ended up. I really liked it. And the violence. There's some really cool fight scenes. There's some really violent fight scenes that I really like. I just love when you can actually, like, hear the punches. Like, just, like, you're there. I love it. And there was actually one specific thing that I heard about before, where Kim Woo-bin is fighting his stepdad in a restaurant, and I had heard that the actor that was fighting with Kim Woo-bin actually broke his ribs, I believe, and he kept fighting. And I heard that that actor, he like gets used for movies to get like beat up a lot. I guess he's good at that. I mean, you have to be good at that, right? And he just kept filming with a broken rib, and that fight scene looked awesome. I don't know if they used stunt doubles at some point. I'm sure they had to, but the fight scenes looked really, really cool. And lots of stabbing. There's a chainsaw involved at some point. I mean, just the movie opens up with like a big fight scene, like right towards the beginning of it. So a fight scene at a temple, lovely. It was really cool to watch. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Friend, The Great Legacy. It's a nice way to, I guess, continue the story. It's like, the first one was in 2001. This was 2014, 15. So almost 15 years later. You know, it's a nice continuation, I guess. I'm sure that people that watched the first one appreciated it way more than I did. I just Wikipedia'd the story, but the first one actually seems like it has a really nice story as well. I've already been spoiled, but maybe I'll watch it at some point. Who knows? I don't care about spoilers at all. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. There was also something that was completely unnecessary to me, though. Was, apart from the main story, they added in the main gangster's father in the 60s and his sort of shenanigans over there trying to take over Busan and dealing with Japanese yakuzas and all that. He went to like Japan to like kill some guys. It was cool to watch, but it felt so out of place with this movie. You know, you're suddenly in it and then it just says 1963 and you're in a completely different story that doesn't really have a lot to do with the main one, even though it's the guy's father. It's like, okay, so that felt out of place. That felt like they needed to add more to make the movie longer, and I was like, stop, don't do that. That felt like a different movie. If you want to like expand the universe, just make a different movie with the guy in 1963. I felt like it was completely unnecessary to add him in here, but whatever. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. I actually, honestly, like, that's the best part. I was able to follow the plot. Like a fucking idiot, I am never able to follow the plot of these gangster movies. Like, it's just so ridiculous. Characters come in and out. You don't know anyone's relationship. You don't know why they're doing this. You don't know who betrays who. Like, it's just a fucking mess most of the time. Especially, like, For the Emperor was a mess. Commitment was a mess. All of that. So I'm just happy that I was able to enjoy the plot and follow it. And Kim Woo-bin looked great. It's in Busan accent, nice, freaking violent fight scenes, people's limbs getting chopped off with the chainsaw. I loved it. So yeah, Friend to the Great Legacy. I didn't expect a lot from it, honestly, but I'm really glad I watched it. Definitely exceeded my low expectations. It was good. It was really good. Maybe you'll appreciate it more if you've seen the first one. But I basically got the gist of it. There's nothing that I was like confused about because I didn't watch the first one. This is just a nice continuation. But it's more about the next generation, I guess. So